Double Dribble Bucks. I'm Seth. With me, as always, is my good friend Brett. How you doing tonight, Brett?
Seth, I'm so happy to be back and talking to you. It's Christmas time. It's New Year's time. It's time to get into the Bucks and kind of all these people that have that noose around their neck as they're getting into Christmas. We need to talk them down because it's not over. There's a lot of the season. There's a lot of things going on, but there's also a lot of problems, and we are going to dive into those in depth.
Yeah, we probably hit a low point the other day. Bucks lost to the Nets by 45 points. I believe it was a franchise record for the Nets. Maybe the
Yay.
fourth, maybe tied for fourth worst loss for the Bucks franchise. So a historic loss at a time where they just had come off a pretty good win against the Celtics. Of course, no Giannis, either of these games. But the Nets are, one of the worst teams in the league. So you expect to, at the very least, be competitive, not lose by 45 points. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. They're playing Toronto right now. I don't know what's happening, actually. I don't even have it on. What kind of a Bucks fan am I? Doing a Bucks podcast. The Bucks are playing, I think. Yeah, they're probably.
We ended up losing by 6.
Oh, it's over.
We lost by
Okay.
6 today.
Another loss, but competitive, apparently. I did see the first half, and, they're trying, right? Speaking of that, okay, we got a couple of quotes that I want to go off of after that loss.
Yeah.
KPJ saying, the preparation for this game wasn't how we prepare for every game, and it showed. You just got to be professional. Preparation is non-negotiable in this league. Kuzma, his quote, starting out games, that's been a recurring theme throughout the year. Mike Tyson says everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. A lot of the times we are the ones getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What comes to mind after those quotes and this loss that we suffered and how, 11-16, 11-17 now? What do you think?
So I know a huge portion of this thing is going to be basing on the coaching, but we've seen these guys step up. We've seen Kuzma step up. We've seen Porter step up. We've seen Rollins step up. All these guys have the ability to play. But then you go and you play a game like the Nets. And, a couple of years ago, I would say, all right, the Nets would treat this as a bigger game because, hey, we want to show that even though we're young, we can take on a bigger name. But right now, the Bucks suck. I mean, to be honest, if you the whole roster was built around Giannis being the guy. If he's hurt, these are the things you're going to have to deal with. But the fact that you hear about the preparation, that is disconcerting because especially when you talked about last time, we have the lowest ranking or percentage or whatever on hustle type plays. It's
Yeah.
isn't that the whole reason we have Thanasis? Or, that's the whole reason he's there, right? I'm not putting it all on him, but yeah, he's supposed to be the hype man. He's supposed to get him up to date. And, I don't know. It's, I don't want to be constantly ragging on the coaches because the coaches can really only do so much. But at the same time, it's what's going on when you go into a game against Brooklyn and you just get destroyed? Embarrassing. It is just straight up embarrassing. And tonight, I haven't checked the box score, but tonight we lost. We talked about that earlier by 6 points. When I checked it before we started, AJ Green had 0 points. Now he played 19 minutes, so I know his minutes were a little restricted, but 0 points. I'm really kind of at a loss right now. I don't know what's going on. I also think
5 shots.
5 shots in 19 minutes. That's
24 minutes he finished with.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand the game plan. It's stupid to watch. I mean, I don't know what we need to do to get Doc fired. And I think I'm just going to end it with this. Giannis had a press conference, and he was trying to address the rumors. And I appreciate Giannis focusing on basketball. I've always appreciated that he's we're here to play basketball. This is what we're doing. But at the same time, it's Giannis, can't you just say you're committed to Milwaukee? You're on the court and you say it, and we see it, and we know that you're here. But you have, come on, man. These rumors exist. Don't sit there and say oh, your representatives are doing this, or you try to ignore the noise. Just end it. Be like, look, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm under contract. I love it here. End the story. Like, I don't know why you can't say that.
Yeah, the one thing he did say is that he has not met with the Bucks. That at least clarifies he has not requested a trade. At least not personally. He's not personally going to the Bucks and saying like, I want off this team, which is essentially what was reported. And I think
Yeah.
I do want to get into that reporting again one more time, but let's do that a little bit later.
Okay.
But yeah, so the whole Giannis thing, maybe to your point, is that that's in people's heads. It's in the team. It's kind of weighing on everybody. And if there was clarity, if there was some closure to this thing that's been going on for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks now, kind of a little bit heavier, and it died down over the past week, but it's still there. And like you said, he's not just closing the book on it and just like focusing on this season and allowing everyone to focus on the season. And so that, especially looking back the past 2-3 weeks, that may have been something. Kevin Porter Jr. was obviously pretty annoyed about it. He was like, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
They were all sick of all these questions coming their way. So that, I think that is something. You had kind of alluded to what I was going to ask. What is it going to take to fire Doc? Because I thought the 30-point loss to Charlotte with like a 4 or 5 days without a game, I think that was like, NBA Cup time. We all thought maybe that was going to happen. Okay, no. Well, now we lost by 45, and then we had like 3 days off. It was like another perfect time to fire Doc. Second perfect opportunity. Beyond like everyone like us saying Doc should be fired, for a while now. But now it's just like, okay, everyone is on board at this point, and and you have every excuse available to you to say like, you know what, we just have to call it right now. We'd love to finish the season with you, but it's just gotten too off the rails, and we need to let you go now. It's kind of easy. It's pretty easy to say that after the 45-point loss, and you're getting quotes from your players saying the prep sucked. So what is it like? Is it possible, or is there no possible way he could be fired based on just simple performance? Would he have to actually do something kind of on a personal level to get fired, or what's the deal here?
Well, it's surprising that we're at year whatever we are, that we still don't really feel like we know the story of Adrian Griffin. Like, I feel like I haven't closed that chapter, because it's like, he had a great record. We understand that he lost the team, but like, where's the reports? Like, where's the end to that? Like, I don't understand that. So like, I feel like if we fire Doc, which he has every reason to get fired, there's nothing that he's doing that says we should stay. Like, you don't even have Giannis being like, Doc Rivers is an excellent coach, period. End of statement. If you fire Doc at mid-season, unless the replacement is on that bench, it's the announcement that we're giving up on the season. That's the problem. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you're Horst, like, it's like, I can't say we're done. It's just not going to happen. Like, maybe if we're after the All-Star break.
Are you saying that's a PR thing? Like, you think that's the message that would be sent? Or do you think John Horst would actually be giving up on the season? Do you want to...
Well, it's definitely, the PR is probably at least a 60-40, maybe 70-30 on that.
Okay.
But I definitely think Horst is like, all right, like, we're done. Like, it's not going to happen. Because I think, like we talked about before, there's the power struggle. Horst won. And maybe he wants to pick his own coach, because we've heard the reports that he didn't want Doc. Not that he was anti-Doc, but he just had Kenny Atkinson was the guy that he wanted, and it was, that's the way it went. So it was like, all right, unless you think like Darvin Ham or, whoever is on that team, on that bench is the guy that you want, there's really no rhyme or reason to like do it mid-season. It's the same thing that we've talked about before. Like, why are you trading Giannis mid-season? Like, mid-season trades are for those teams that are like the last piece, or I'm doing this, or blah, 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 blah. If we're going to see Giannis go, it's the offseason. It's guaranteed. With like Doc, it's like, I think the moment you trade him, it's over. Like, this is just what it is. Unless we had a maybe bad example, but like Charles Lee was a coach that was always talked about as a head coach.
Yep.
Finally got a job with Charlotte. Of course, Charlotte is the one that, beat us. Con Nipple, obviously, is the one that is playing lights out. But, he's looking like a okay coach, not like a game changer. Darvin Ham looked like he was amazing his first year with LA. Unless we have that guy on the bench, I kind of almost why do it with Doc? What's the point at this point? Just ride out the season and see what happens. Now, I'm going to end it with this, and I'm going to throw it back to you. There is a report today that the Bucks are, quote, big game hunting, meaning they're trying to find that piece to bring in. Now, we know that, because of what they did with Dame and because of some contracts, we're actually, kind of in a good financial position. But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, and I don't know where we're at right now. And I really go back to, I want Giannis or even Thanasis to be like, Milwaukee is the team. I'm committed to this team. Even if you just say I'm committed to this team this year. Just say that.
Yeah.
Give us that peace of mind.
That would be helpful. And the longer he doesn't say it, the more skeptical we are of, or maybe some of these rumors are, maybe there's some truth to this, the longer he's kind of letting it ruminate. So yeah, that's true. But yeah, in terms of the Bucks, what are they going to do? Assuming, so I think it's clear that they're not looking to trade Giannis, and now finally there's reports stating that. Obviously that means they're looking for someone, to get better. Are they big game hunting? What, that to me that says looking for a big name, big contract type guy. I don't buy that. I guess I don't buy that report. And if you remember during free agency time, it's like all these big names are being thrown around. Not necessarily good players, but big names. A lot of old guys who kind of suck now, but it's like Chris Paul and it's Bradley Beal and, whoever else, right? It's all these big names. And then there's all this talk on Twitter about it. I don't think Horst was considering any of those guys. Then
No.
Who do we get? We get Cole Anthony and Gary Harris and whoever else. These smaller. We re-signed Ryan Rollins, thankfully. The most obvious thing to do. It's people are questioning if we're going to do it, and it's there's just so much talk out there. You can't. I don't think you can trust any of it. Who knows? And I think there's a bit of truth to all of it in the sense that Horst is obviously talking to everybody. Why wouldn't you? But that doesn't mean they're big game hunting or they're looking to trade Giannis or whatever. Just because he takes a phone call or he has one conversation about anything, it's just that's what all GMs do all the time. Isn't that their job?
Yeah, you have to answer the call no matter what. You have to see what they're going to say. There's got to be a team that's hey, we'll trade you. This think of fantasy football. There's always somebody that's hey, I'll trade you this piece of shit for your starter, and they're like, come on, what are you talking?
Yep.
And then the other person will say, well, I'm trying to just gauge interest. I'm trying to see what's going on. But the reality is there's all these trades just make no sense. And it really bothers me. I just saw one today where it was the Timberwolves. Okay. First of all, the Timberwolves with Giannis, I just don't see that happening. But you really think Giannis is worth a 28, a 30, and a 32 first round pick? That's it? Come on.
That's it.
That's bullshit. That doesn't make any sense.
That is, yeah. That's why. Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, why are we talking about this? Unless Giannis is constantly at a press conference saying this team is shit, there's no direction, I hate it. On the NFL side, Joe Burrow is starting to say stuff like that. I don't know if I trust this organization. It's okay, now there's a little smoke. Mm-hmm. But with Giannis, he's not saying any of that stuff. None of that stuff is happening. And it's if you're not a big name in the NBA, the media doesn't understand what to say. Ryan Rollins is fucking good. Kevin Porter Jr. is fucking good. AJ Green is fucking good. These guys are young and they're upcoming. And I wouldn't be shocked, and no Bucks fan should be shocked if any three of those make the All-Star team soon. The over-under making the All-Star team in 3 years, and you get any three of those, are you going to take the bet that they're not any of those three making the All-Star game? I wouldn't take that bet. But it's if you're not talking about fucking ancient Chris Paul, what the fuck is Chris Paul going to do for this team? What does that make sense? And then you read a report, they're like, oh, the Bucks might trade Miles Turner. Oh, we might trade Miles Turner. The guy that in the offseason, everyone's like, this makes the most perfect sense for Miles Turner to be on the Bucks. So we fucking sign him, and now we're going to ship him out for why? To get 3 future first-round picks from the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves? What the... I mean, it gets me angry. Like, there's really... Honestly, if you're not a shit team that isn't getting Giannis to, like, get some sort of ticket sales, like, I'm only going to believe that OKC, because OKC has so many picks that they're going to be like, I don't care about the future. Let's get Giannis. Let's ride with our 3 main cores, and we'll give up every fucking pick we have in the next 6 years. That's the trade you're getting. But you're not getting swaps, first of all. Swaps. Anybody that has a trade that says a swap with Milwaukee, ignore it. That's bullshit.
It's a lot of bullshit trades out there for sure. An interesting thing I had not thought of, and I think Phoenix did this, is the idea, because OKC has like more picks than they can even use. It's kind of like they kind of have to trade some picks. Is you could trade the 2031 first and get back a couple first. I think the thing I saw was getting back 3 firsts. I mean, that doesn't seem reasonable. But, you know, OKC is so good, so they're going to be like the 25th to 30th picks probably. And then the assumption is Milwaukee's going to be bad in 2031, I guess. It's so far away, like who knows, but that's what everyone assumes. So that's why they might do that. It's like, hey, that might be a good pick while our next couple of years here are going to be terrible. And that's like, I could totally see the Bucks doing that. You know, let's get a couple firsts in a couple seconds or what, you know, something like that. And that makes sense to me. How about this? Do you think that the Bucks would trade that 2031 or 2032, I think we could trade now, for a player? Like, do you think they're going to get rid of, like, now our future, the future picks that we have, which are way in the future, are we going to get rid of those to get, you know, Zach LaVine or Trey Murphy, someone like that?
Well, I don't want Zach LaVine, but I'll tell you right now, like, it's very similar to, like, Dynasty football. And I'm going to give you a quick little analogy here. There's a guy in our Dynasty football league, which Dynasty, for anyone that's listening, is like you draft your team, that's your team. Like, the moment you drop them or trade them, that's it. But, like, every year, that's your team. So, like, you're like the GM. So there's a guy that made all these trades. He's got 11 picks in this upcoming draft. So in order to make 11 picks, he has to drop 11 guys.
Yeah.
Or make trades. So OKC is like that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to get these people on your team, like Topic, I think was the guy last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Where the OKC was like, we don't even need this guy. So let's use the pick, you know, essentially redshirt him, and let's see what we got in the future. But you can't do that forever. You can't keep, like, drafting injured players and hope they, like, work out. Like, at this point, like, OKC is, like, kind of, like, pot committed. So OKC is going to trade these picks for now, right now. And if I'm a GM like John Horst, I have Giannis. I mean, I'm sorry, but like Giannis, at worst, is the 3rd best player in the league. At worst. And so, like, if I'm doing that, I'm pushing everything I have into the future. I mean, how many teams are so god awful that you can, like, cherry pick their picks because they're so bad? It doesn't happen. The Spurs are fucking good, and the Spurs had the 1, the 2, and the 4, the last 3 picks. Like, I mean, they have amazing players, but they still have picks, and, like, it's not working, and it's gonna take time and that kind of stuff. Like, there's no team that's like the Jets, where it's like, hey, every time I trade with the Jets, I'll guarantee I'll get a top 3 pick. Like, you could trade Giannis for every Charlotte pick, and Charlotte could turn around and be amazing because they have Giannis. Like, I would keep Giannis. I would trade everything I can while I have him. Like, it's worth that gamble, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to get better, though. I don't think you can. I think it's too risky to get, like, you know, LaVine's a name that's out there a bunch. I don't even know. Like, is Horst really looking at LaVine? Who knows?
He can't be. There's no way. Come on.
But yeah, it's like that would be. I'd be really upset if that happened. I just
Yeah.
feel like you're becoming the Bulls, basically. Trey Murphy, I might be, he's younger and he's good and he's the position you need. But it is kind of scary to give up that 31 or 32 or both of them especially. And I do love the concept of giving up the 31 for like a picks in the next year or two, especially assuming you have Giannis, like you're saying, like, hey, let's win now with Giannis, and then in 2031 we're not good. But I guess that's the scary part is if you're not good and you tank, now you don't have your pick. And it's like New Orleans this year. They're going to be horrible and they're going to lose their pick to Atlanta. So that's the fear. I guess I'd be real hesitant to give up those picks where at a time where like we have no confidence in being good at that time. Like we might be, who knows? But Giannis is not Giannis who he is now. That's like 6 years from now. So maybe he's still on the Bucks, but he's going to be 37. And how good is he going to be? How often is he injured? Like, that's pretty risky. It's tough to bank on that. So, yeah, I do like that concept of stealing some picks from OKC. I mean, they have to get rid of him, like you said. So someone's going to get him, and OKC is going to want pick from the team they think is going to be bad. And so that's why the Milwaukee seems like a good possibility there.
Yeah, OKC is so good. We all know that. They're so good right now. Like, you have to trade for the future. Like, if I'm OKC, what do I care about the 26 or 27 pick?
Yeah.
I want your 33rd or 34. Like, I want in the future because I don't know what's going to happen. But, like, the way that the roster is talked about, like, even though surprisingly you mentioned that we had like the oldest team last year, or not the oldest, but one of the oldest, and we're not as young as we think we are, like we're really banking on these young guys to improve. So like the mindset isn't to get Zach LaVine or 80-year-old Chris Paul to, I mean, there's not an obvious hole on our team. That's the problem. It's lack of leadership, it's a lack of motivation, and it's surprising because it's like maybe the problem is Giannis in the sense that it's like say something. I'm serious. Like Kobe Bryant, there's a famous interview of him on Jimmy Kimmel where the team is celebrating winning after losing like 19 straight, and he's like smirking and he's injured and he's like, this is bullshit, like you guys, we suck and like you're winning whatever. But it's like, yeah, you know why? Because Kobe, you're not on that team. You don't show them what they need to win. They're grasping onto fucking anything they can to celebrate a win, and that was on Kobe. Kobe should have, even though he's rehabbing, he should have been there to explain like 19 losses. Yeah, you got to celebrate that 20th win. So the Bucks celebrating a win over Joe's Crab Shack or some shitty team is like, like, Giannis, maybe you got to look in the mirror and you got to be a little more like your brother and you got to say the rumors are bullshit, shutting it down. I'm getting my team energized, but don't like remove yourself from the conversation, which is what I see he's doing. And I don't know. I don't love it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he's going to. He's had ample opportunity. It's been going on for a month, and he just had the podcast with his brother, a press conference today, and doesn't seem like he's going to say it. So is that him putting pressure on Milwaukee? Is that him kind of saying, "Hey, I'm cool if you trade me"? Not like I want to be traded, but I'm open to it, and I'm not going to shut the door on it because. If you trade me to a good team, actually that's fine with me. Like maybe there's a part of that as to why he's not shutting it down. I don't know. He again and again talks about focusing on basketball, focusing on trying to win again, focusing on his teammates. So he's saying the right things, but he's not just coming out and saying, I didn't ask for a trade. I don't want to be traded. He's not saying that, but he is saying, I didn't meet with the Bucks, and he is saying I'm focused on winning with this team, with my teammates. So he's halfway there. I want to give him some credit. It could be, there's definitely a space where it would be more questionable, but still him not saying like I want to be traded. So at the same time, I don't think he's going to say it. So I think it is what it is, and the media kind of moved on. The thing I wanted to say about the media is there's a kind of, in the political world, there's a writer, Freddie DeBoer, and he wrote an article a few years back. It was around the time of the Twitter files, and I think he coined this term, the maw, and he was referring to it as kind of like basically the consensus opinion of journalists, writers, like pundits, and kind of the expectation that like all decent people will agree with this like media narrative that's out there. And part of what he was talking about is this happened so quickly. It's kind of like in a matter of minutes almost, where this narrative forms and it's like, this is what normal people like believe about this, and if you don't think this, like you're weird, so kind of like anti-vaxxers, or you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're kind of like, this is what everybody should be thinking about this topic, basically. And so that's what he coined it, the maw. And it seems like to me, this whole Giannis thing is the maw is saying Giannis wants out of Milwaukee. It actually got to a point where Brian Windhorst on that podcast said he requested a trade. Like those words were said. But again, we talked about it last time. It wasn't a report. He was just kind of talking. People took that and the maw ran with it. And it was like, Giannis wants out. He requested a trade. Like all of a sudden it's become like Giannis requests a trade. He doesn't want to be in Milwaukee. This stuff is completely fabricated and no one's questioning it. Zach Lowe, who I used to love and respect, is like now one of the worst members of the maw here, like just spewing out Giannis trades as much as he can, like some of them ridiculous ones. Like, what's going on here? Why aren't people rejecting it? And like I said last time, it's so now like I'm referring to the maw, and like if like people are supposed to just agree to it. If you don't agree to it, like you're kind of weird. And that's like Bucks fans, like everyone just accepted this narrative, and it was seemingly fabricated, for whatever reason, that's what it was. It just kind of snowballed very quickly, and immediately there's a million trade. Everyone's talking about Giannis being traded, and it went on for like a week or two, and we complained about it, and we were like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it just kind of died. In the past week, all of a sudden it flipped. And now it's Milwaukee's looking for big game hunting. Who are they going to trade to help Giannis? It's like, what changed? Giannis didn't say, to your point, Giannis didn't say anything. Giannis only right now came out and said something where you might say, oh, well, he's committed to his teams, whatever. A week ago, he didn't say anything. Nothing happened. All of a sudden, the narrative changed. And I was like, what's the deal? Why'd that happen? So I thought it was interesting. I had that thought that it's just like politics with these things and like the different narratives that come about. And it's just like, well, of course you have to believe this. It was the same thing where like, well, yeah, Giannis doesn't want to be in Milwaukee. It's like, does he? Does he not want to be in Milwaukee? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's the, obviously we're deep diving into the media here, but the reality is it's all about like, well, what's the hot topic that I can talk about to make sure people are listening to me? And Zach Lowe, it's like, he did cut through the bullshit for a while. And then it's like, well, the only reason people are going to listen to me is if I'm talking about it. So it's like, okay. But there's no like realization. There's no like, you can't piece the pieces together. It doesn't make any sense. Like, like we've talked about before, it's like, well, Giannis wants to go to Milwaukee. Where is the point where anybody said, why does Giannis want to go to New York? Sorry, I think I said Milwaukee, but why does Giannis want to go to New York? Give me any other part of that. I was helping my 8-year-old daughter with math today, where we're solving like, all right, we know these two factors, and we're solving for X. All right, so Giannis plus blank equals New York. What is that? What fucking thing are we missing? Because I don't seem to get it. You got Mike Brown, who can't keep his fucking job more than 2 years. He's getting paid by probably every team in the league. Like, holy shit. Like, everybody wants to hire him, and then they fucking hate him.
He's a poor man's Doc
like,
Rivers.
Okay. Yeah, and then you go to, like, you watch the NBA Cup, and it's like, Villanova. Okay, well, you know what? Giannis didn't go to fucking Villanova. So, that he doesn't have that. Karl Anthony Towns went to Kentucky, and you traded a shitload to get him, so he's not replacing him. So where the fuck does this guy fit that makes any sense to me? I don't understand it. It's just so frustrating, and it's just like that. I think that's the thing that like gets me pissed off at Giannis, where it's like, just shut it down. Just shut it down better than you are, because like I know you want to push the Bucks to be better. But like the way I look at it, it's obviously being a homer, but it's like, okay, I don't want to trade Rollins. He's fucking good. I don't want to trade Porter. He's really good. I don't want to trade Green. He's really good. So it's like, okay, I don't want to trade Turner. He's really good. Like, so what's the one piece that I'm missing that's going to make this all better? I don't understand it. And then the fact that I'm going to go back to this again. Any trade that you hear with a trade swap is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, the moment you get started on something is when like a team's like, I'm willing to give like the next 6 years of draft picks for Giannis. That's the moment you start to hear about it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, you look at the Spurs and you look at OKC. OKC has obviously proven that they've done something. OKC is trying to, or excuse me, San Antonio is trying to do the same thing. You draft and you build, and it takes some time, and it's not gonna. You don't have to win today, but like you look at San Antonio, they have Wemby, then they drafted Castle, and then they drafted Harper. Okay, 1, 2, 4. Mm-hmm. Like that's, you don't trade your future. You continue to keep building. So all these teams are not going to give up everything for Giannis, who again this year alone has been hurt twice. Like, why would you trade your future when you think, like, it just doesn't make any sense? No team you can look back at and say they traded everything and it worked out well for them.
Yep. Yeah. Well, to end this whole Giannis thing, which we keep coming back to every podcast this year, I think, you're calling for Giannis to come out and say something. Totally agree. I'm calling for just the common man to reject the media's shit. Okay? Obviously, the media sucks, and we always complain about the media, and they need to be better. But if we just stop accepting it, maybe they will stop, you know?
Yes.
But we're feeding them. We are giving them what they want. They say whatever they say without listing any source. They can say anything they want. They go from one rumor to another rumor that it's literally impossible for all these things to be true. Someone is making shit up, but there's no doubt about it. Let's stop believing all the shit. Ask questions. Think critically for 2 seconds, people, okay? Stop just letting the maw take over your life. That's
Seth, what's the movie that won Best Picture in the 70s about news? Network. Network? Remember Network?
Network. Yeah.
What's the phrase that everyone remembers with Network? Do you remember this?
Yes. I don't remember it word for word, but I can.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
There it is.
That is what you need everybody to be saying. That is the narrative with Giannis. I am mad as hell, and I am not going to take this shit anymore. Until Giannis shuts it down, until you have some definitive proof, stop fucking listening to it. Like, pound your fist on the table. It is bullshit. It's just, end it. It's over.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Now we fixed that problem in the world. Let's. What was I going to talk about next? I did have this to point to, I guess. When Giannis gets back on the court, I think the thing that is missing in his game, and I believe we've alluded to it a couple times, is he needs to pass the ball more. He's going into those double, triple, quadruple teams and just going to the rim, you know, no matter what. Too often. If you're being triple or quadruple teamed, okay, there's people wide open. Right? There's got to be somebody wide open. And sometimes he makes those passes, and it's great. And he can really make some awesome passes. Like, you know, just he can make those passes happen, and he can get it in the right spot for them to put up the three. And we have the best three-point shooting percentage, you know, partially because of that kind of play. And anyhow, I think that's the piece missing for him and why he's not, you know, Jokic. Everyone talks about Jokic, but Jokic's passing is amazing and unbelievable, and he does have more assists than Giannis. And so the graph that I saw was like dealing with being double teamed, and they had various players on here, and Giannis, and it says like how much they shoot, how much they pass out of the double team, right? And then points per double team, whatever. So the best one to compare to is SGA, right? SGA is obviously an incredibly offensive player right now. He is the one who gets more points per double team than Giannis. The thing is, SGA passes it 56% of the time, while Giannis only passes it 37% of the time. So SGA is getting more points per time that he's being doubled, but he's passing it more than half the time. And so maybe if Giannis passed it more, it would actually increase our points per time that Giannis is doubled, as opposed to going through, because he'll go through those guys and he'll turn it over, some of the times, or miss the shot or whatever, or shoot free throws, but his free throw, he doesn't hit free throws like SGA does, So that's, I don't, I feel like we're in too far in his career to really see a dramatic change like this, maybe, but maybe that's why you have a coach. That's why Doc Rivers is there, perhaps, to show him this kind of a thing. But that, to me, that seems kind of easy. What's the low-hanging fruit here to, at least for Giannis? I think that's it. I think if he were to be a little bit more pass-minded, I'm going to pass it, as opposed to I'm just going to eat into the rim no matter what. I think he could be better. Now, can you do that and have the same aggression and all that? I don't know. Maybe that's just too much to ask. But I thought this was interesting just to see how often SGA passed out of those double teams. And Cade 50% of the time, Anthony 45% of the time. The guys who don't pass it as much are guys who aren't as good. Jeremy Grant, 35%. Cat only passed it 32% of the time. Jaylen Brown, 42%. So Giannis is one of the lowest percentages of passing it on this list of these other guys. And the guys who aren't as good are passing it less. So it does seem to be like, hey, if you want to increase your efficiency, when you get double teamed, you got to look for the open guy.
I think you nailed it. I think it's like you think back to Magic Johnson, 6'9" point guard who was amazing at passing, right? But at 6'9", in the early 80s, he was bigger than a lot of guys. He could have, there was games he played center, there was games he played power forward. When you watch a Bucks game, Giannis feels like when he has the game, it's on me. And, look, the lineup is built for that. But at the same time, it's like, to your point, how many images are you going to see with Giannis having 4 guys on him, 3 guys on him? Like, just everybody's like, I'm worried about this guy. Well, if you have the best three-point shooting team, those guys are guys you have to rely on. And this is going to sound incredibly stupid, but I'm going to say this. So SGA, because you brought him up. How many commercials are you seeing with SGA by himself? Not as many as him with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. Yeah. Giannis is 100% by himself. Maybe Giannis has to you have to have that coach to be like, look, man, you are the best, but these guys are here for you. Like, Giannis can be a great passer, and I bet you if we looked up the times that he's had double-digit assists, I would be willing to wager 90% of the time we're winning.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But the problem is, he puts so much on his shoulders, which is true. The game is on his shoulders, but Magic Johnson, that game, every time he played, it was like he was the guy that they had to rely on. Yes, I know you had Kareem, but Kareem was like a LeBron in the sense that he was so good, but he was also a stat stuffer. It wasn't intimidating to have Kareem on the floor. He was just amazing when he was playing. Early Kareem was dominant because he was so much different. 80s Kareem was different. He was efficient, right? LeBron is efficient in his career. What you need is all right, Giannis, if you're going to be there, open up your game, rely on these guys. These guys, the reason we brought in these AJ Greens and these Gary Trents is because they're going to drain that shot. And yes, I understand if you're going to pass to him 6 times in a game and AJ Green doesn't make any of them, yeah, well, AJ Green, you lost your fucking shot. You're gone. That's it. I give you 6 shots to do it, But if you're shooting at least 50% of that, that's the role you need to be. I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated by it. It seems like he's almost getting like more and more isolated instead of like more and more team.
Yeah, that is a little bit not what we want to be seeing and hearing, especially amidst all the trade talk and everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully there's not. I think there's a good chance it's just frustration. We're not winning, and he's just taking it all on his shoulders. Like, what can I do? I got to make us win, and he's like that. Like, I have to do this. He talked about the other day. I saw, and I think in the Thanasis podcast, I guess he was talking about. He talked to Kobe Bryant. And Kobe was saying, your biggest weakness is usually your biggest strength. And Giannis was like, well, what's your weakness? He's like, I'm an asshole. What's your strength? I'm an asshole. I don't care what anyone fucking thinks about me. And Giannis is like, well, my biggest weakness is I'm stubborn. I'm not going to stop, but that's also my strength. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to get it done. If I have set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. And I thought that was pretty cool, and like some truth to it, at least with what he's saying. Like, that makes sense. Stubbornness definitely can be a weakness, but definitely can be a strength. And in this case, maybe it's a little bit of a weakness where it's like you're just running into that wall, again and again, and you need to dish it out to AJ Green, to Gary Trent Jr. So yeah, I think that might be it. I think we just figured it out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Kobe, rest in peace. But like, I think I have more respect from Kobe since he died, which I know that sounds terrible, but like, you look back at his game and like, he was able to win without Shaq. He was an asshole, but yeah. He had that mindset that like Jordan had, where it's like, if you guys are going to do it, I'll do it myself. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate Giannis having that same thing, but it's like, it's a modern game, and you're not Jordan and Kobe in the sense that you don't have that outside shot that they do. You have an impossible to stop penetration game. Jokic does not have the game that Giannis has. Jokic is all about touch, right? It's all like he's like 6-7 footer type things. He's got the touch, which is what Kareem had. Giannis is like, I don't know anybody in the world. Let's call Cam Scattaboo, the guy that like loves to like run into brick walls for fun. Giannis coming at him, Scattaboo would run away. Like, why would you stand in the way of a 7-foot guy running like 40 miles an hour at you that is going to like hit that shot 90% of the time? Like, get out of the way or deal with the pain. But like, it's like, I don't know. Like, you have to find that balance, and I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know what we're missing. I'm going to go back to the coaching, but like, Giannis has to have that wake up call where it's like you can't do everything, especially as you get older. You have to rely on some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Well, sticking with Giannis, kind of here. I did want to touch on this, talking about our defense, and the Giannis's plus minus is like ridiculous, but it's almost all offense. Our offense is like 16.5 points better with him, like net rating, offensive rating, on versus off the court. But the defense is only 3.3 points better with Giannis. So it's a little bit better, but it's not significant like the offense. And so essentially saying that the defense is pretty similar with or without him, and our defense sucks this year. In the past 2 weeks, we have the 28th ranked defense, and we're 24th on the year. So not good. But I wanted to look at some things that are worse this year than last year, and kind of see if we have any thoughts like why. So like defensive effective field goal percentage. Last year we were 8th, top 10. This year, 21st. Defensive rebounding. A lot of talk about rebounding. We were actually 6th in defensive rebounding last year. We're 22nd. If you look at just the half court defensive rebounding, we're 29th. Second worst in the league. And last year we were 5th. Defensive free throw rate. So, fouling guys. Last year, defensive free throw rate, we were 4th. This year we're 26th. And then in terms of letting guys get into the lane and get shots at the rim, last year we were top 5, which I'm surprised at, but we were 5th. This year we're 16th. And, we lost Damian Lillard. We thought we were going to be better with some of these things. Like why are we struggling so much on defense? And we got Miles Turner. We thought that was going to help. He doesn't look bad to me. Defense. He certainly doesn't look worse than Brook Lopez. So like, where is it? Why are we worse on defense?
Well, I mean, it's obviously coaching. I mean, the fact that you have Turner and I never see him in the paint. I mean, that's the eye test. Like Turner is not in the paint. He's not giving up to his strength. We talked about this before. Like you're shocked to see Porter or Rollins getting a steal and like putting some pressure on a guy bringing up court. And it's like that shouldn't be surprising. Like that's what you need to do. But it's just like this lackadaisical attitude. And it's like, that has to come from coaching. There's no emphasis on like score and be aggressive and like that's the thing. Like Wisconsin sports fans in general are going to complain about that because like the Packers, Matt LaFleur is trying to like win the game, but not like step on your throat and be like, fuck you, I'm awesome. And the Packers and the Bucks don't have that attitude at all. I mean, how many games are you seeing us blowing out anybody when we're fully healthy or any of that stuff? No, it's like let's slow it down. Come on, like just fucking crush these guys. Like even last year, we had I think it was last year games against the Celtics where we were up 30 at halftime, and the Celtics were like, "Fuck it, we're benching everybody." Like this year, it's like I don't know. We just don't care. It's like, as long as I win by 1 or 2, like that's all that matters. It's like, no, that's not what matters because you're letting these teams stay in this. You're not putting them to bed. Like people know, like all we have to do is keep pushing the Bucks, and they're just going to give up. And it's like, I don't know any other reason but coaching at this point because I feel like we have like those emphasis guys that are like getting the bench going, but I don't know. It's just lost in these games.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers for the zone defense, but it seems like we're seeing a lot of zone defense. Like every game, it's like a few minutes of that zone defense. In the NBA, it seems like zone defense is something you kind of throw out here and there to kind of throw someone off guard, throw the other team off guard.
Yeah, wasn't there like an NBA player recently that was like making fun of us playing zone?
Yes. Yeah. Totally. And it was like, I think it was Isaiah Stewart from the Detroit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Beef stew.
And it was the second, and then someone else, maybe Ivy, talked about how in the first game, because we played him twice in like a week or something, and we beat him the first time, and they were saying how the zone kind of messed him up the first game, but then they practiced probably, and came back and had a plan, and they crushed it, and then Isaiah Stewart was like, come on, they're like playing zone. I hear this is a man's game. This is the NBA.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, it does seem, whether how much truth there is to it, I don't know. I did not look into the stats of it, but the eye test is kind of like it's kind of a lot of zone. And then when you put Ajax in and you play zone, I guess I'm not totally opposed to it, but Ajax is like one of the better man-to-man defenders. You put him in, and then you put him in for like 3 minutes, and that's all he gets, and he's playing zone the whole time, and it's just like, this is odd. Like, what is the game plan? What's the strategy here? And if we're losing games, maybe this zone defense isn't something to rely on. And if our defense sucks, it's like, or you have to do it a whole bunch. I don't know. But I guess I'm kind of questioning the whole zone thing. And it's like, it's gimmicky, I guess. Like, is it good or not? And I guess it doesn't seem like it's that good. Like every once in a while it is. I like it here and there, but he's relying on it too much, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you watch an NBA team do full court press. It's not normal.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see that in college, but like when an NBA team does it, you're like, what are you doing? And that's the Bucks when you do zone. You're like, I don't really understand what you're doing here. Like it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But like I don't know. It's like I don't know what Doc's game plan could be because I mean Doc wants to be a Hall of Fame coach. Like I don't think he wants to mail it in. He hasn't done enough to be like I'm the best ever. Like it's not like we have Phil Jackson on the bench being like, fuck you. Like whatever I do is fine. Like you Doc, you won 1 ring and like it's I don't know. Like there's a whole lot you need to do. But like even when we were checking like the game before we started today, it was like I think he had like 8 guys playing today. It's like, well, you could go deeper in your bench, and I feel like when
Yep.
we were getting just like run through by the Pacers, wasn't Carlisle going like 12 deep pretty regularly? And it's like, okay, if we're on a losing skid and we don't have Giannis, how are you sticking to 8? Like, why go deep? See what's out there. Like,
Yes.
mess this up and see what's going
Yep.
on. I don't understand it.
Very good point. Yeah. We're 11 and 16, 11 and 17, whatever we are now. You got to try some things here. And then the things that he's trying, one of the things he changed recently, it's a little perplexing to me. He's starting Gary Trent Jr. all of a sudden when our offense is actually great. Our half court offense is great. There's really no problem with it. I mean, I guess without Giannis it's harder, but still, that's not the issue. Offense really isn't the issue so much as defense is the issue. We're like 24th, 28th or 9th in the past 2 weeks. So we're bad on defense. So you're going to take Rollins, put him on the bench, and start small Gary Trent Jr., who doesn't rebound.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, it's just what is the thought process with doing something like that? He's playing Sims more, which is like, okay, maybe he's thinking rebounding and defense, more Sims. That makes sense to like try that. Let's give Sims some minutes. Let's see how this goes. I don't really know if it's working because we're losing, but that makes a lot of sense. Starting Gary Trent Jr. doesn't make sense to me. Like that alongside AJ Green. Like why do they both need to start? If Giannis is in the game, I can understand it a little bit better because like we were saying, everyone's around Giannis. Now you got two incredible shooters wide open potentially. So without Giannis, it's just like, what are you doing? On top of the whole defense thing, I just don't get that. Today, Gary Trent Jr. played 30 minutes. Look, sometimes he has great games. He's kind of a typical NBA guy. I mean, unless you're a star, you're gonna have off nights. So tonight, off night, he had 3 points, 1 of 8 shooting, 0 rebounds in 30 minutes. Okay, only 2 assists. I mean, he usually doesn't get much stats in the rebound and assists. It's like either he's shooting really well, or he's not, and his defense is always not that great. And like I like him. It's just we can't be relying on him.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense in the game plan. We talked about earlier, like Turner, you're always seeing him on the 3-point line. You don't see him in the paint. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's like, Torian Prince, we talked about, we didn't love him there, but if he's in the corner, yeah, I'm fine throwing the ball to him. Like he's probably going to make sense. But it's like the Bucks are playing like a pickup game of a bunch of 40-year-olds and a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like we're relying on our shot. We're understanding that like, all right, well, the ball's probably going to bounce this way, and this is probably going to happen. And the younger guys are just like, no, like I understand the ball could go anywhere, and I understand that anybody could get off a night, or they could. And the Bucks look like the oldest team in the league, where it's
Yes.
like we're really like relying on too many things that are like statistically should go this way, but there's no energy, there's nothing there, and it's like, why wouldn't you be playing Ajax? And like, we've talked that 1,000 times, and put Ajax and Rollins at the same time and just like, pester people and just get to this point that like, I don't know. I'm just lost. I don't understand, and I can understand any Bucks fan. Like, I don't understand what the plan is. Like,
Yep.
if we could look at this and see, like, I could understand lineups or I could understand something, but it's like, you're not going deep in the bench. You're not trying enough things. Like, I don't really understand the game plan while Giannis is out. This is where you should be trying some shit. And when Giannis comes back, be like, this is going to work on paper, and let's play around with it. But right now, it's like, literally anything throw out there makes no fucking sense. Like Gary Trent, yes, we know he can get hot, but we also know AJ Green can get hot. I would start AJ Green every single time and have Bobby and Trent coming off the bench to spell
Yep.
Giannis and AJ. Like, let's see what happens. If you get hot, great. If not, like, we're not losing a lot.
Yeah, I think the concept is why he didn't start Rollins. Maybe is you have to have Rollins or KPJ on the court, like one of the two. You have to,
Right.
which I agree with, and I think Doc knows that. But they can both play 35 plus minutes. Okay, KPJ played 40 minutes today. Like, why can't they both start and play a bunch of minutes and just stagger them? He did that one game. Like, is it that hard? I don't know. And today, Rollins, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He only had 2 fouls. He only played 28 minutes. You actually played Gary Trent Jr. 2 more minutes than Ryan Rollins today. Why? Because you started him. And once you start someone, you have it in your head like, oh, I got to start him the second half, and I got to get him his minutes. He's got to come back in to finish the second half. Like, the only thing that Doc might change is the fourth quarter. Maybe you don't come back in, you know? And it's like, you fucked it up, okay? This is why you can't start him. This is why Rollins has to start, because he's better. He's better on defense, for sure. And you're going to reduce his minutes for the stupid reason. Like, because you can't deal with staggering them while you both start. I'm not even sure exactly what his reasoning was to not start him, but whatever it is, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Rollins is like one of the better defenders. He's long. Gary Trent Jr. is like small and like not long at all. Like I don't know his measurements, but he looks small on the court watching him play. He's kind of pesty sometimes. He's not the worst defender, but it's just right in front of you. Okay, Ryan Rollins is young and awesome and long and gets he's top of the league in deflections, top 5. So these are the kinds of things we want. And, I'm not going to start him. And then I end up playing him a horrible Gary Trent Jr. game.
Do you think Doc would be like an amazing college coach? Because that's what's happening right now. It's like, I'm going to play my seniors. It's their last year. But it's like, look, Doc, shut the fuck up. Like, who cares? Like, if a freshman is better than a senior, you fucking play them. Like, I don't care if Taurean Prince has put in 10 years in the league. I don't care if Gary Trent is playing for a next contract. You play the guys that are hustling and playing and put them in there. Like, I don't understand this game plan. It just doesn't make any sense. You're really playing like a high school or college coach that's like, well, he's a senior. I got a lot of years in front of you. But it's like, all right, let's use Ajax. Like, Ajax has got to be on his last year or maybe one more year. I don't know where we're at, but like, it's closing time. Shout out to Semisonic. But it's like, play him now and see what you got. Like, there's no reason to like hold him. Like, you don't own his rights. There's nothing. Like, just fucking play the guy and see what you're doing. Like, you don't owe it to anybody. Mm-hmm. This is a profession.
Let's be professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Let's end it on this. Lots of guys are trade eligible. We could potentially see a trade. I saw today, Kuzma didn't play. Someone was like, maybe he's being traded. So that's on the table. Anything could happen. The Bucks obviously struggling big time. If you're not going to fire Doc, like, you got to be looking to trade someone, I would assume. So what do you think realistically? Because we know Horst is not what is being reported. So like, anything could be happening in my opinion. Like, who knows who Horst is looking at? But maybe not names of players per se, but like maybe on our team, like who on the Bucks do you think might get traded? And then what hole, like, do you think we're filling kind of a role player type guy, or do you think it is kind of a big trade? What's more likely?
I think it's unlikely to see a big trade. Big trade meaning like, with his current roster, I don't see Giannis, Miles Turner, Bobby Portis, probably the big 3 names, right? I don't see them being traded. Because the other thing is like, we've talked about this before. You have Giannis, Bobby, Turner, and Sims are your only bigs, right? Kuzma is a big, but like Kuzma, I don't know, like he's got his ups and downs. Like we like him when he's playing really well, but like I don't think anyone would shed a tear if he's gone. The problem is like the current NBA structure right now is everybody, like I said before, is looking at OKC and San Antonio, and like there's not these quick fixes. Like I think you look back to the Paul George trade with OKC and LA, and that was like one of the worst trades in the history of the NBA. Like, Paul George is a name, and so you traded him and you traded future MVP SGA plus multiple picks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing you got to look at. Like, you look at, all right, like constant trade talks. All right, Miami. Why would Miami give up Tyler Hero or Bam? Those are their 2 guys.
Yeah.
They're not going to give them up. Atlanta, unless they're not going to trade Ratface Boy, like, they're going to keep him. Like that's not going to play. And you got Richache, the
Jalen
guy that
Johnson's
they
the
had,
best. He's the best
and
player.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
But like teams aren't giving up these young guys. It's just not going to happen. There's enough of these.
Yeah.
Like OKC and San Antonio are young enough. Like I just don't see these trades happening anymore. I think it's going to see like that's gonna decrease more than we think it's going to increase.
Yeah, about like the bigs on our team, lots of talk about trading Bobby for a couple years now. If you trade him, and then what we need is a 3. Like that is the hole in the roster, is a good wing at the 3. But if you let's say you trade Bobby for that, okay, now you're down a big, so now it's pretty much Sims behind Turner, like that. I guess that's it. And then you kind of lose that Bobby at the 5 with Giannis lineups, which can be really effective. And it's like, do we want to, if we make that trade, are we now is our hole at the 5, and now we're like too slow at the 5, and we can't spread it out as much because Sims can't do that, so we just have Turner doing that, so that's kind of tough. What we have a ton of are like the smaller guys. It's just that a lot of them aren't good. And then the 2 that are good are young and like cheap and like guys that you kind of want to hold on to. Yeah. So it's pretty difficult to trade a KPJ or a Rollins, especially if you're going to get that 3. If you're going to trade him for a 3, now you only have one ball hand. Like we were saying, you have to have Rollins or KPJ on the court, or you're really struggling. Like we've seen it this year. And so, are you really going to give up one of those guys? I mean, you could get a good return. Like I'd say those are pretty valuable pieces because they're cheap and young and good. Like you said, they might be an all-star in a couple of years. It's very possible. So I could see being tempted to trade those guys and see what you could get back, but we need that. Like we need both of those guys, and you're not going to be able to trade Gary Harris or Cole Anthony or Torian Prince or Amir Coffey or Ajax. Like you're not going to get much from even Gary Trent Jr. I don't think you're going to get that much from him. It's like AJ Green and Rollins and KPJ. Those are the guys. And it's like, are we going to give up one of those guys? And if not, if you don't give up one of those guys, you kind of have to give up the 2031 or 2032 first round pick. So it's kind of like, I think the Bucks are in a tough spot where they have to get rid of something valuable. And I don't know what it's going to be. I guess I would lean towards them going for it and giving up a 2031 or 2032, probably just one of those. And then hopefully packaging it with a Kuzma, probably ideally, or Portis. That's my guess.
Yeah. I mean, Kuzma or Portis are the really only logical pieces. Mm-hmm. Like everybody else is.
They have salary too.
Cap friendly. Yeah, exactly. But I think the thing is like, I don't think you look at a team and you're like, they're one piece away. Like that's just not the modern NBA. It just doesn't work that way anymore. And people don't want to give up these picks, as we talked about before. And, you look at salary things, like look at the Kings. Like they're trying to get rid of all the guys they brought in. They brought in Levine. They want to get rid of him. They brought in DeRozan. They want to get rid of him. They have, I can't even say the name, Lachlan. Who's their power forward?
On the Kings? I don't know.
Yeah, he's the young guy.
The guy from Iowa, Keegan Murray?
Yeah. No, the foreign guy. But he's been constant trade rumors all the time.
He's the
Sabonis. Sorry, Sabonis.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking of Utah. Sorry. Sabonis is on the Kings, and Markkanen is on Utah. Yeah. Those are guys that are talked about a lot, but it's like those are young guys that are going to expect big contracts. Like we're not giving away anything to get them. We don't have like those guys. Those teams want future picks because they're still young and they just don't want to pay the salary. So it's like there's no winning combination out there. It just doesn't work that same way. Like I mean, Bucks fans are like, do you really want to get excited about trading Bobby Portis for Kristaps Porzingis? Because, like, that's the type of trade that you would see where you'd be like, I mean, I don't know. What am I supposed to think about this? Or like, Bobby Portis for Franz Wagner. It's like, okay, probably better, but Wagner's been hurt a lot, and is he the best Wagner? Like, none of these trades are going to make you happy. So, like, you just deal with what you're dealing with. And what you need to do is you need to like have the, go into the NFL analogy. You look at the Packers. Matt LaFleur has been an excellent coach as far as a win-loss record. Like, excellent. Top 6 of all time in the time period he's been there. But the new owner, quote, CEO goes, prove it. Like, I'm not going to renew you automatically. Like, prove that you, like, have some fire in your belly and you want to, like, do something. That's what we need is, like, Doc, you're old as shit. Like, you were retired. Like, show that you want to go out on a high note and show me that you have something to give for us to work on, because otherwise Horst would be stupid to trade anybody. We have nobody that's like an old piece. Like, you get rid of Chris Middleton, but even you look at Chris Middleton and it's like he's providing a value for the Wizards in the sense that they have some like veteran guys with these young guys, like, this is how you play, and this is a benefit they're doing for the long term. I'll pay Chris Middleton $60 million for the next 2 years because he's going to teach these young guys how to play ball, and I think that's what we're going to get. I don't think there's anybody out there that the Bucks are going to get that's going to be this life-changing thing. We've talked about Anthony Davis as a rumor. Anthony Davis, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Come on. There's no way. No way. I'm not giving up anything for Anthony Davis. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't make it. He's hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll end it on this. I have a little fun stat here. The foursome of Turner, Giannis, Green, and Rollins is plus 9.7 on the season. But the most that foursome has played is with Gary Trent Jr. And that lineup is minus 9.5. So the times that they're playing without Gary Trent Jr., which is like 200-ish possessions, is like plus 30 or something. It's like ridiculously good. So that was just kind of the interesting stat. The lineups data is kind of crazy sometimes. Like we talked about last time, the number one lineup in the league is the one with Kuzma starting at the 3. Which is like, wow, how does that happen? So I think that's still, Giannis is in that lineup. So, I mean, it's still the number one because I don't think it's played since we talked about it. So you can't, it's who knows? It's just some random lineup stuff. But that's interesting. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. numbers are pretty bad this year with all the lineup numbers. So, but that does seem like a good foursome, right? Turner, Giannis, Green, Rollins. I think, right? Those are 4 guys that we think should be starters. So if you just replace Trent Jr. with KPJ, and if we can play that lineup for more than a game, like the Bucks could be pretty good. Healthy Bucks on paper still does seem like they'd be pretty good. It's just like,
I mean, when you watch KPJ or Rollins play, like nobody's like, ugh, I wish those guys weren't playing. Like you want to watch them more, and it's like, Gary Trent, like, unfortunately, I understand why you didn't get the contract you wanted. Like, you show flashes, and you're kind of like a Torian Prince. Like, I don't know what game I'm getting. Like, you might be the guy that's putting up 8 threes, or you might be the guy that, like, forgot how to play basketball. Like, do we have Grayson Trent Jr. the third? Like, whatever one we got. But it's like, I'm not giving up KPJ or Rollins. Like, there's no way these guys are, like, turning into studs. I'm not giving up Green. I'm not giving up Turner. I'm not giving up Giannis. And, like, this combination works. Like, I'm sorry, you got to fight for your role here. Like, this is the way this is working. And, like, I don't know. Doc sucks at figuring out lineups, and nobody's got a vocal voice. And, we talked before off air, you get to a certain age where you stop caring what other people think, and you're just like, this is the reality. Somebody needs to grow their balls on the Bucks bench and be like, look, I'm old. Like, fuck off, Doc. This is, like, makes sense. And nobody's doing it, and somebody needs to do it. Like, as much as I hated Austin Rivers talking about the way that he talked about his dad, Austin Rivers would be a good coach to be like, you're dumb. You're stupid. Like, I feel like Austin Rivers might be the guy that I want to be as my next assistant coach.
Yeah, let's say I'll try anything at this point, especially on the coaching side. So, yeah, do it, Doc. It's your son. Why not? Get him over here.
Don't you love your son? Don't you love your son, Doc? Come on.
All right, well, have a great Christmas and New Year's. I think, we're probably Probably coming back after the new year, I would guess. No Bucks on Christmas, second year in a row. Got to build that reputation back up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's the same team. Maybe there's some trades, some crazy things that happen in the next couple weeks.
Just remember, there's a long season, everybody. Still got a lot of time.
A lot of time. Yeah, not even halfway through. So, subscribe and rate us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Email us at doubledribblebucks@gmail.com. Text me or Brett if you have our number. Follow us on Twitter at PodDDB. Until next time, go Bucks.